Welcome to part 2 of our Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 battle overview. Today we'll show you all the destruction wrought as the space battles of Warhammer 40,000 reach their crescendo, ships begin to tear apart, and the cold void hungers for souls. We've seen in part 1 how your ship's devastating weapons can obliterate an enemy fleet, but brute force isn't the only way to bring them to their knees. Targeting their crew and sapping morale is just as devastating.
You ain't the boss of me!
Terror weapons, close assaults from teleporting troops, or particularly disastrous weapons fire and the loss of allied vessels will all panic the crew of affected ships.
Odds of survival falling.
To the point where the captain may mutiny against their admiral and try to flee the battle.
No, we must escape! Disengage! Disengage! Full speed!
Crews can also be killed by boarding actions, fires, and the cold vacuum of space.
Let us hurl these brittle Xenos into the void.
This reduces the effectiveness of the ship, or even disables it completely, turning it into a floating hulk to be destroyed or reclaimed. Faction-specific admiral skills become extremely valuable as the fight descends into chaos. The Necron mass recall can bring every one of their ships into one all-important skirmish, abandoning the rest of the battlefield to focus fire on an enemy strategic location or flagship. Tyranid ships closing with their enemies have deadly hooking tentacles to pull in smaller and faster ships that might otherwise make a getaway. Your battlefield may also be subjected to unforeseen events. A migration of space titans, plasma storms, asteroid strikes, or a map swarmed with erratically moving natural predators make every battle unique and force you to adapt. The battle ends when all enemy ships are defeated, or you have gathered enough points combined from destroyed enemy ships and captured zones. But one battle will not win the war for the Aegis Ocularis, or stop the 13th Black Crusade. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2's pre-order beta starts today. Pre-order now to play on PC. The Drukhari strike with untold speed and cruelty, screaming from their hidden realm of Cormora like a nightmare unbidden. They are the galaxy's torturers, feeding on the pain of the lesser races to prolong their existence ad infinitum. At the helm of any true fleet is a battleship capable of a vicious amount of firepower. The crews that fall under its shadow can only pray for a swift death instead of the agonizing trip back home. The Crag's Honor is a 26-kilometer-long Gloriana-class battleship and the flagship of the Ultramarine fleet. Gloriana-class battleships are an ancient and powerful design used by the Legionis Astartes during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy. The Vengeful Spirit, flagship of Abaddon the Despoiler, War Master of Chaos, is also one such vessel. One of the greatest battle stations of the 41st millennium, the Phalanx operates as homeworld, space station, and devastating weapon of war for the Imperial Fist's chapter of the Space Marines. Arriving battered but not beaten at a key moment in the battle for Cadia, the Phalanx was instrumental in the destruction of the Will of Eternity Blackstone Fortress. Now it orbits Terra, a key piece in the final line of defense for humanity. Acting as the command vessel for any true Tyranid fleet is the Hive Ship, a humongous construction of flesh, bone, and organs. Living hulls bristling with weaponry, scything claws and slavering jaws, while a synaptic link keeps the Hive fleet as a whole operating at peak efficiency. Despite its size, the Hive Ship can move at frightening speed, dashing forward to crash into lesser vessels and dealing tremendous damage. The only viable defense is simply to not be there. Tyranids flood from the intergalactic void, consuming every atom of living tissue they come into contact with, eating whole systems one planet at a time. The Devourer is the second largest class of Tyranid ship, packing a suite of bioplasma and pyroacid weaponry, launch bays for boarding craft and smaller vessels, feeding tentacles, or simply massive claws. Thanks to unique Tyranid physiology, it is still capable of operating in stealth mode for surprise attacks on unsuspecting prey.